following training video will discuss the features, basic operation, and care of the Baxter OV500 series rotating rack ovens. This video is meant to supplement the operator manual. For complete information about programming, safety procedures, cleaning, routine maintenance, installation, and troubleshooting, please refer to the operator manual. Baxter ovens are designed to be versatile and flexible enough to generate a wide range of products. Versatile design technology is perfect for producing breads, pastries, cookies, meats, casseroles, and more. The OV500 rack oven is available in single and double rack sizes and in several models. The OV500 G1 and G2 models operate on natural or propane gas. The OV500 E1 and E2 models use electricity. The oven accommodates either single or double racks and is equipped with electronic oven controls for baking, roasting, and steaming. Warning: the oven and its parts are hot. Use care when operating, servicing, or cleaning the oven. Always open the door slowly and keep clear of the opening to avoid burns from hot air and steam. To prevent burns, always use hot pads or protective mitts when loading and unloading the oven. The rack carrier automatically stops in the load and unload position when the door is open. It lifts and rotates automatically once the oven has started. The OV500 usually ships with the standard B-lift rack carrier. Make sure the stop flap is in the up position before loading a rack on the rack carrier. If you are using one single rack in your double rack oven, push the rack to the end of the carrier for optimum bake results. If your oven has an alternate lift, refer to the operator manual. Roll the rack into the oven. The oven's carrier will slide into the rack's lift channels. If a rack has pan stops, load the rack so the stops will prevent trays from moving toward the user as the rack is unloaded. Finally, close the loading door. The rack carrier will lift and rotate only during a timed bake. Let's look at the displays and buttons on the standard oven control panel. At the top of the panel is the power button. The control panel displays will light up when the oven is on. The clock shows the current time and can be set to display in 12-hour or 24-hour modes. You can press the arrow buttons to change the time. The auto on-off timers allow you to control when the oven automatically turns on or off. Press the auto on time button and then use the arrow keys to set the desired time when the oven will turn on. Press the auto off time button and use the arrow keys to set when the oven will automatically turn off. Finally, press the timer on-off button to enable the auto timer feature. The oven temp display shows the current temperature. The up and down arrows next to the set temp display allow you to increase or decrease oven temperature. The heat on light will appear when the oven is heating. Temperatures shown are in Fahrenheit. If you wish to display temperatures in Celsius, please refer to the operator manual. The bake timer window shows the amount of time for the current baking cycle. Press the arrow keys to enter the bake time in 1-minute increments. You can also enter additional time at the end of the bake time. The on light is lit when bake time is active. Press the start button on the right to start the bake timer. Press the stop button to stop the bake timer or to silence the beeper after the timer sounds. We will go into further detail about baking later in this video. The steam timer window displays the amount of time set for the steam cycle. Press the arrows to enter the steam time. The airflow delay button sets the circulation blower to delay airflow through the oven chamber at the beginning of a baking cycle. The oven will not heat while the airflow delay is operating. This is very helpful for delicate or liquid products that need time to set before air movement can affect the finished appearance. Press the arrow to enter delay time. The delay timer can be set from 0 to 9 minutes. The program panel is where you can select a new recipe or set baking steps. The program window displays the number of the current recipe. Press the arrow keys to select a new recipe. Press the steps button to select one of 4 baking steps. The indicator light will show which of the 4 steps is in process. The vent and cooldown buttons at the bottom of the panel are used to open or close the vent on top of the oven manually. The vent will remain open for the duration of the current baking step. An indicator light next to the vent button will be lit when the vent is open. The cooldown button can be selected to cool down the oven. To enable this feature, set a temperature of at least 25 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the oven temperature. The cooldown mode ends when the oven reaches the new set temperature, or if the door is open when the temperature is 25 degrees Fahrenheit below set temperature, or by pressing any button. Refer to your operator manual for additional cooldown features. For best results, you should preheat the oven to temperature before baking begins. Please note that the door must be closed for the oven to heat. Also, the rack carrier will be in the unload position from the last bake. First, press the power button to turn the oven on. Make sure the oven door is closed, then press the up or down arrows next to the temp display to enter the desired baking temperature. Allow the oven to reach the desired temperature prior to beginning a bake cycle. Once the oven has been preheated, you can manually select the baking settings. Recipes will be reviewed later in this video. Press the up and down arrows next to the bake timer display to enter the desired baking time. Press the up and down arrows next to the bake temperature display to enter the desired temperature as well. To use the steam function, press the up or down arrows next to the steam timer to enter the desired steaming time. You can also control the airflow delay by pressing the up button. Leave the steam and airflow delay settings at 0 if you do not want to use these features. Carefully open the door and load the oven. Press the start button, then close the door to start the baking cycle. You will see the on light in the bake timer window blink as the timer counts down. Here are some helpful hints when baking. You can adjust the temperature during a baking cycle by pressing the up or down arrows next to the set temp display. During a baking cycle, the start and stop buttons control the bake, steam, and airflow delay settings only. They have no effect on the oven's heat. If the door is opened at any time during the baking cycle, the temp, bake time, steam, and airflow delay settings will pause. Close the door to resume all baking. Additional instructions can be found in the operator manual. You can use the pulsing steam mode to provide steam on a periodic basis throughout the baking cycle. This mode adds an intermittent pulse of steam throughout the cook cycle to minimize meat shrink. You are able to set the amount of steam and the time between bursts. The OV500 is shipped in the bake steam mode. Consult the operator manual to switch to the pulse steam mode. The oven will beep when the baking cycle is finished. Press stop to silence the beeper. Please note that even when the bake timer sounds, the oven stays at the set temperature. Be careful not to overbake products. Open the door and wait for the rack carrier to stop and lower. Push the rack stop down to remove the rack from the carrier. Warning! The oven and its parts are hot. Use care when operating, servicing, or cleaning the oven. Always open the door slowly and keep clear of the opening to avoid burns from hot air and steam. To prevent burns, always use hot pads or protective mitts when loading and unloading the oven. A recipe is a set of baking instructions that the operator defines. Within each recipe, you can store the temperature, bake time, steam amount, and airflow delay settings for up to 4 steps in the standard controller. The program menu stores up to 99 recipes. Entering a recipe is easy. When the oven is off, press and hold the up arrow next to the steps display in the program panel. While pressing and holding the up arrow, press the power button for 3 seconds. When the beep sounds, you can start entering recipes. Next, press the up or down arrows next to the recipe display until the desired recipe number is displayed. Changing an existing recipe will be discussed later in this video. To enter the desired temperature, press the temp up or down arrows. Now, set the bake time, steam, airflow delay, and vent settings. Press up or down arrows next to the bake timer to enter the desired baking time. Press the up or down arrows next to the steam timer to enter the desired steaming time. If steam is not needed, enter 0. Press the up arrow next to the airflow delay to enter the desired time. If no airflow delay is required, leave the number set to 0. Press the vent button to vent the oven cavity for the entire time of the step. The vent button is located in the lower right-hand corner of the control panel. When the step is complete, the vent will close. A recipe can contain up to 4 steps, each with different bake settings. To add steps to your recipe, press the up arrow next to the step display and enter the bake settings for each step. For example, Recipe 1 contains the temperature, bake time, steam amount, and airflow delay time settings set by the operator. This is known as Step 1. After Step 1 is completed, the oven automatically starts the programmed bake settings in Step 2, if the operator has set them. The oven continues with each step until all steps are completed. Refer to the operator manual for detailed instructions on how to use multiple recipes or steps. You can easily change an existing recipe's settings. With the oven in the off mode, press and hold the up arrow in the steps section. While pressing and holding the up arrow, press the power on button for 3 seconds. When the beep sounds, the oven is in the program mode. Press the recipe up or down arrows until the program number is displayed. Enter the new bake steam and delay airflow settings. To change the settings in a step, press the up arrow in the step section and make changes to each step accordingly. To store the recipe, press the recipe up or down arrows to move to the next recipe number. Finally, press the power on/off button to exit the program mode. Next, let's use a baking recipe. Press the recipe up or down arrows to select the desired recipe number. The recipe's temp, time, steam, and airflow delay settings will be displayed. Confirm that the oven is at the set baking temperature. Slowly open the door and roll the rack into the oven and onto the rack lift. Press start and close the door to run the recipe. A beeper will sound after the bake timer times out. Press the stop button to shut off the beeper. If more baking time is needed, press the bake timer up arrow until the desired time appears in the minutes set window. Press the start key. The timer on indicator light will start blinking. Here are some useful hints about using recipes. The recipe up and down arrows will have no effect while the bake cycle is in progress. However, if the bake timer has been stopped, either by pressing the stop button or by opening the door, then pressing the recipe up or down arrows will select a new recipe and cancel the baking cycle that was in progress. When selecting recipes, the system will skip over unprogrammed recipe numbers. For example, if Recipe 1 is displayed in the program window and no recipes are stored in 2, 3, and 4, then the system will skip over 2, 3, and 4. Recipe 5 will be the next recipe displayed. For more programming hints, please refer to the operator manual. Once you have finished using the oven, remove all the remaining product. Allow the oven to cool and then press the power button. If you want to cool the oven quickly, press the Cooldown button. You can also use the vent to evacuate steam from the oven. Warning: the rack oven and its parts are hot. Be very careful when operating, servicing, or cleaning the oven. Also, be careful to disconnect the electrical power to the machine and follow lockout/tagout procedures. Once the oven is cooled down, you can start cleaning. Clean the exterior of the OV500 on a daily basis. Clean the interior and windows on a weekly basis. A full list of recommended cleaning tasks can be found in the operator manual. Inspect the area around the oven. The area must be free and clear of combustibles. Remove any obstructions to the airflow. Clean the outside of the oven daily with a clean, damp cloth. You can remove the racks and clean them as you would any cooking utensil. Use warm, soapy water to clean the racks and then rinse with clear water and dry with a clean cloth. Likewise, wash the stainless steel interior of the oven with warm, soapy water. Use care when cleaning around sensitive interior parts such as probes, sensors, or the rotating mechanism. Rinse the interior with fresh water and dry with a clean cloth. Next, gently scrape heavy buildup off the door glass. Residue can be removed with a glass cleaner when the oven is cool. If your oven comes equipped with hood filters, wash the filters with soap and warm water. Never use cleaners containing grit, abrasive materials, bleach, harsh chemicals, or chlorine. Also, avoid using oven cleaners, steel wool, or stainless steel cleaners. Never spray down the oven with water or steam. Never wash out the control compartment. In addition to regular cleaning, the OV500 rack oven must be kept on a regular preventative maintenance schedule. Ovens require specific maintenance based on usage and environmental factors. Failing to have the oven properly maintained by following recommended maintenance procedures may result in higher repair costs, shortened equipment life, or unsafe operating conditions. Please refer to the operator manual for a full list of recommended maintenance procedures. For service and parts information, please contact your local authorized service dealer. Your Baxter oven was designed and manufactured to give you years of satisfactory service provided it is properly maintained. While additional troubleshooting information is provided in the operator manual, let us review a few key troubleshooting issues. If the oven temperature display changes between a number and cool, the oven is in cooldown mode. Close the oven door to cancel cooling mode. If cooldown mode was started with the door closed, adjust temperature on the control panel to cancel cooldown. If the cooldown mode will not cancel on your oven, contact your local authorized service dealer for assistance. If the control beeps continuously, check that the rack is rotating and that the pans are not protruding from the rack. If this problem persists, contact your local service dealer. If the rack does not lift and rotate, a bake time has not been entered in the timer, or the timer has not been started. Enter the bake time in the bake timer and press start. If the problem persists, contact your local service dealer. If the temperature at the sensor exceeds 570 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 seconds, the oven will shut off all features and sound the alarm. The oven temp display will flash and the letters SHDN will appear in the bake timer display. If you are using an electrical oven, disconnect the electrical power and follow lockout/tagout procedures. Disconnect all circuits. Shut off the gas if using a gas oven. Contact your local authorized service dealer for assistance. Do not attempt to restart the oven until it has been inspected by an authorized servicer. The operator manual provides step-by-step instructions on how to handle other troubleshooting tasks. This concludes the operations training video for the Baxter OV500 rack oven. Please refer to your operator manual for additional information regarding operation and contact your local service representative regarding any repairs or needed adjustments.